I'm Know the Pain.
And so like a boy.
And this is Catch 22, where we talk about pulp culture in under 22 minutes.
Or less.
Yeah, or a little bit more, give or take. It's just a nice name. Catch 22. Alright, so we just watched the Suicide Squad trailer. If you were at San Diego Comic-Con, you did too. We weren't there. We just happened to see the pirated version that people put on YouTube before Warner Brothers pulled it. Yeah. And so we got lucky to actually see it.
They pulled it pretty quick, too.
Yeah, they really did pull that pretty quick. As soon as we watched it, it was gone. Like, we went to replay it, and it was gone. Luckily, we did watch a good copy of it. We had to go through a couple to find a good copy, but we did find a good copy. It looked great. Jared Leto sounds very reminiscent of Heath Ledger at the end of it, when he does his little speech, monologue, or whatever.
Clip.
Yeah, his little sound clip that they do.
Like,
yeah, which is basically like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to... I think that's what it was. I'm just going to hurt you really, really bad.
Yeah, or it's more like torture you, I'm torture you.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he looked great as it. I know a lot of people... very polarizing. A lot of people either like it or they hate it. They love it or hate it. Like, it's... I think he looks good. It's different. It's definitely different. It stands alone. Like, it makes him... like, as if he makes that character. Like, it's different. He made it his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with David Ayer, like, they're doing something great there. It's different. Now, the films do look darker. It does... Suicide Squad fits very well in the same universe as Man of Steel. Like, they all have, like, the monochrome look to it. Or the washed out look. Like, they look good. They're dark. Like, they look like they're brooding. They look like adult drama movies. Like, they look like they're, like, the Thinking Man comic book movies.
Yeah.
You know, not that, like, Marvel is dumbed down by any means, but there's, like, each movie serves a purpose to get to the next one. Like, like, it is TV on the big screen. You pretty much are just watching one to get to the next one. Or like we said before with the Batman vs. Superman, we were talking about that podcast. It's Easter egg hunt. Like, the whole movie is like, ooh, what can I find? What can I? Oh, that's cool. Oh, this is gonna show up next. Oh, this one can happen.
Yeah.
Like, you try to figure out the next movie while watching the movie you're in, basically. Or figure out, you're trying to, like, get ahead of Marvel. You're trying to, like, oh, what are they thinking? What are they doing?
Like, each event, you're trying to, like, pick it in your mind while it's happening. Like, what should I memorize for the next movie?
Yeah, like, the movie's more of an event than a movie. Like, it's not not like a 3-act movie. There's no beginning, middle, and end.
It's just 2 days.
There's no arc.
2-day
like,
period is what happens.
Like, there's an over arc, like, all the movies together, like, if you were to watch them back to back.
Yeah.
Like, that's why a lot of people complain that the Avengers was more, like, more... The Avengers 2 is more of a line with Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Like the lightning in a bottle that was Iron Man, which is a great film, which catapulted the Marvel Universe. Because if Iron Man sucked, there wouldn't be a Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. So, and that really rides on the back of Jon Favreau for picking Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Jr. like really just clicking with the character. Now, if... like, that one was a standalone movie. Like, it was just the origin of Iron Man, and it was him going, you know, it was the whole arc. There was the beginning. You know, he started out as, like, a billionaire who's a warmonger, and then he gets captured.
And the world opens to him.
Yeah, and then he realizes the error in his ways, and then he tries to fix it, and then he becomes a hero by the end of the movie and has to actually defeat, like...
It would be like his inner self, but it's... older, but
like, he has to deal with the consequences that he had at the beginning of the film, and he has to end up defeating someone that's very similar to himself, basically. Like, yeah.
It's kind of like...
which every movie after, every film has been Robert Downey Jr. defeating himself, basically, or something that he's done.
Created.
Yeah.
Like, his creation.
Except for Loki. Like, all the other things is all... everything deals with Iron Man. Iron Man's the one that's fucked everything over. Like, really.
Created
Tony Stark is the one... You know, or Ivan... what is it? I can't even think of his name. Freaking the second movie, Whiplash. Like, it was because his father stole the arc reactor and didn't steal it. Like, him and Ivan Stanko. Yeah, he stole the credit.
Yeah.
From the actual co-creator. Like, and then freaking had him deported.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we don't know, like, what's funny is, like, in Agent Carter or something like that, they'll dive into the history of that, because Stark's in that and stuff, but,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, Iron Man 2 was more about trying to sell the Avengers. Like, they shoehorned in Black Widow, which has turned out to be a phenomenal character, especially in Captain America Winter Soldier. Like, Scarlett Johansson is great as Black Widow, and it's cool that they had the little, like, weird love story thing. Spoiler alert for Avengers. But her Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. But Age of Ultron really felt like they kind of pulled the reins on freaking Joss Whedon, where he couldn't do what he wanted, probably. Like, he was probably had to fight for those character-driven scenes, because they really just wanted to amp up the action, and they just really wanted to try to sell or plant those Easter eggs for the next films.
Mm-hmm.
Which, we discussed this too, like, yesterday, the issue with Marvel, I mean, I think we discussed this in the Batman vs. Superman, the trailer podcast, is they don't show you what the other heroes are doing. Like, it's very disappointing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Marvel movies; they're really good. But it's a different kind of storytelling. It's episodic. It's very like serial, like the old serials back in the day, or like you have to watch the next one. You don't necessarily have to watch the first one to get the next one, but it helps. Like, Avengers 1 has nothing to do with Avengers 2.
Yeah, it's a completely different villain, completely different.
And there's nothing that goes on in it that really carries over. I mean, there's the Loki staff. That's about it. Like, everything else is pretty much self-contained.
Yeah.
But
It's not the Allspark.
like, you have to watch the stuff that goes in between.
Yeah.
Like, or kind of. But it's also weird. Like, if they're in a team, like, why don't they communicate with one another? Like, when they're in their own films, like, hey, dude, I need your help. Like, oh, I'm busy. I got my own stuff.
Or
like
news
refer to
stories.
it, like you said.
Yeah.
News stories are referred to it. But what's
Like,
cool with the Batman vs. Superman, in this one now, it makes you appreciate Man of Steel more, because in the preview it shows Bruce Wayne in the like initial scenes of the preview that he was there at Ground Zero for the fight between Zod.
His building is the one that the lasers cut through.
Yeah, and destroyed. Yeah, they destroyed it in their fight, and then so it's sweet. Like, it sets up this movie, and it gives the whole catalyst to him actually going after Superman. It makes sense, but.
Like revenge.
Yeah, he has a valid reason. Like, he wants Superman, and then he's also dealing. It appears that he's dealing with the anguish of Robin being killed, maybe at the hands of the Joker.
Which that might be why in the Suicide Squad you see Batman in it. Maybe there's something there with Robin.
That's true. That's true. But what I do know this, though, because of that, it makes me want to see Suicide Squad even more now.
Yeah.
Because if they just tease the Joker in Batman vs. Superman and you don't see the Joker, you want to see the Joker for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You want to see that story arc over. It's going to be interesting to see if every movie is done like this through DC, where every movie, the next chapter, like, shows you what happened, or shows you the flip side of what happened to the other characters in every movie. It's going to be great. They're all going to be integrated together. It's going to be sweet. It really is like sequels. I mean, I know some movies are made like, I mean, look at the Indiana Jones movies. Like, they're sequels, but they're all self-contained movies. Like, you don't have to
beginning, middle, and they're all wrapped up at the end.
Yeah, and maybe there's a couple nods here and there to previous films, but
Easter eggs.
Or like characters that maybe appear again.
Yeah.
But you don't have to necessarily watch the other ones. Like, in this day and age, you kind of have to, like, with multiple, they're all trying to do the universe building. Like, this one's skewed more towards adults. Suicide Squad looks great. It looks like it's all the same universe.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder. Oh, and they just announced today that the Green Lantern that's supposed to come out, I believe, in 2020, either 2019, 2020, maybe it's 2018. It's the last of the DC Universe films. It's no longer titled the Green Lantern; it's the Green Lantern Corps. So there's multiple Green Lanterns, which is great, because for the last couple weeks it's been rumored that they were going to have both Hal Jordan and John Stewart in it, which are both the Earth, or. Is it Sector 296? 261? The Earth Lanterns that are in charge of this sector of the universe. Which would be cool, because then you get, like, you don't have to get the recycled Hal Jordan that you had with Ryan Reynolds, Like you get introduced to multiple ones. That way you could then develop your favorite, and it also gives diversity to it because you could have like the different alien ones, and not only that is you can have the different like nationalities or the different different ethnic groups. Like you can have Jon Stewart, it's African American, which would be like one of the first African American superheroes that made it into the movies. I mean, we have Blade from Marvel, but like DC Universe, like is there an African American like character? Besides, I mean, Will Smith is now Deadshot.
Yeah. Which
in the comic books, like, is usually like a white dude or like dude. It looks almost like Tony Starkian, like has a goatee and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And then you have like Perry White. They have Lawrence Fishburne, but he's not really a superhero, but he's like a supporting cast. And when they cast the Human Torch, as Michael P. Jordan, like great actor, but they cast him as an African American instead of typically the white guy that he's portrayed in the comic books. People got their panties in a bunch. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see like Jon Stewart and the dynamic between Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Even if they had Guy Gardner, that'd be sweet. The only thing that bothers me is Flash, which we didn't talk about this in the Batman vs Superman one, but you saw the person show up in a motorcycle over to this is LexCorp. And it showed bullets on the ground. It looked like a crime scene, and they had people on stretchers. And it showed someone come in. It looked like they're a younger person because they're wearing high-top tennis shoes.
Yeah.
And they were coming in on a motorcycle.
And they were like blue jeans with sneakers.
Now, unless that's Lex Luthor, because he also is a younger person in the movie. It could have been him. But he doesn't come off as a person that would drive a motorcycle.
No, he would have like a
or a crotch rocket.
He would like get one of those nice, expensive cars.
Or a driver. He would have somebody drive his ass.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Helicopter or private jet.
So I'm thinking maybe because it was a crime scene, and crime scene investigation is all about Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of hoping though, because they do have a very successful Flash TV show, and everyone knows that Grant Gustin is for Flash right now. Like it'd be kind of a hard sell to have a different person as Flash, but it also is several years away, so they could change that, unless the cameos in this film. So we don't know. But we did get to see Wonder Woman. We didn't see her use her lasso of truth yet, but we did see her use her gauntlets. Like she slapped them together and did like the freaking like like a tidal wave of force, like her energy. It looked like almost like the Hulk when he like slaps his hands together.
Yeah,
like the Sonic boom type thing.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, and I don't know. It just looks awesome. Like all these naysayers saying that these movies don't look that great, or DC sucks, or they have to catch up. They don't have to catch up. They've been doing Superman and Batman films before Marvel even had a successful film.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. Like, I mean, they're not going to screw up their giants, their titans, the trilogy of the Trinity, of the three. Mm. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman of their Justice League. I think they're just going to expand upon it. If they keep getting great directors like David Ayer and
especially since you're doing
Snyder,
great with TV.
Yeah.
DC's doing great with TV.
Well, that's because Jeff John's in charge of all the entertainment, and he's doing a great job of it. And there's still the rumor, which they never addressed it unless I missed it, is that Ben Affleck is going to do, probably in 2017 or 2018, he's going to do The Batman. He's going to direct it, and he's going to co-write it with Jeff Johns. And that's the rumor. It hasn't been official, or there's no statement on it officially. What's interesting, though, is the Smith family. Like, Will Smith, is Deadshot, right? Which a lot of people, didn't really like, because he hasn't had really a big hit in a while. He's known for his summer tentpole films, but he hasn't had a huge hit since After Earth, and he had Focus and stuff. But people were worried about him. And then, his wife was on Gotham, but it appears her character was killed off at the end. Spoiler alert! At the last episode of Gotham.
Spoiler it afterwards.
Well, that's 22 episodes into it. If you haven't seen Gotham by now, I mean, you should go to Hulu and watch whatever they have on there, or try to download it, or get it on Amazon. It'll be out soon, hopefully on DVD or Blu-ray. And I don't know. And then there's rumor that Jaden is actually going to be Static Shock in a web series, which is great. They just announced two today. It was either today or yesterday that Jim Lee and Dan Dido the two co-publishers for DC Comics, they're bringing back the imprint I cannot. It just escapes me right now. That had Static Shock in it, which is like they basically said it was like the Motown of DC Comics, or it's more like urban superheroes and stuff, which is cool that they're bringing it back. And so Static Shock's back. But what's interesting, though, like I said, is that the Smiths are getting into the superhero business. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith has come out and said that she would like to be in Suicide Squad 2 as one of the characters. As another villain, which would be great. Like they are comparing it. They're saying that the Suicide Squad could be basically the Fast and Furious of
DC.
Of where you can have a multicultural cast that fits every demographic, but you can also carry those films because they're heist films. Essentially, they are they're mission films.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have multiple films, and you could have different villains in each one. You could have a couple of them that are the through line that stay the same, or they alternate in and out of different films, and you kind of keep track of where they are, or you see where they are. They talk about them, some of them die. I mean, it's Suicide Squad. They got suicide in the name. There's going to be risks. Odds are someone's going to die in this movie. Now the question is, are they going to pull an executive decision? Remember Executive Decision with Kurt Russell? It had a whole bunch of action stars in it. Steven Seagal was in it. Spoiler alert for Executive Decision. It came out in 1996-ish. Steven Seagal dies in the first 10 minutes. And at the time, he was a big star. He just came off of the Under Siege movies and everything. And he was at the height of his career before he plateaued after. But he was at the height of his career, and they killed him off in the first 10 minutes of the movie. They pulled a Executive Decision or Scream, where they killed off the major characters, big stars, at the beginning of it. Which, ironically enough, Jada Pinkett Smith was at number 2 and got killed off at the beginning of that. Spoiler alert. But, all right. Again, these movies have been out for over a decade. If you haven't seen them, yeah, fuck you. All right. So, what's crazy, though, is they might do that. I just thought of that. What if they kill, Will Smith's character off in the film? He's the big star. I mean, he probably got full paycheck for it. He's the draw, right? People want to see because he's the big name attached to the movie. Not that anyone else in there is not a movie, but they're not or a movie star, but they're not a certified movie star.
Mm-hmm. People are
they haven't they haven't led their own films. They haven't led their own films.
Yeah.
Or anchored a film, or they haven't brought in that moolah. I don't know, but that'd be interesting. I don't think they will, though. I think that they might keep him on as the leader of it, but you never know.
They can have other people join, and then they kill.
But like I said, they could do the Fast and the Furious, where they bring in different directors, or they keep the same director. It'd be interesting to see, is Zack Snyder going to stay? I know he's going to do the Justice League movie, 1 and 2, the two-parter.
They do good.
But they still have the Flash movies to do. They still have all these other movies. I mean, they have Patty Jenkins, who's going to do. She did Monster. She's going to do Wonder Woman, which is great. They're going to have a female director do it. That's great. Catherine Bigelow would be sweet, James Cameron's ex-wife, who did Point Break, great movie. And she did The Hurt Locker, and she won an Oscar for it. But they have all this talent out there that they can get, and Warner Brothers is good at getting talent. Kevin Smith brought up the other day, wouldn't it be fucking awesome if they had Clint Eastwood? That'd be sweet. He's in-house at Warner Brothers. He's always been at Warner Brothers. So it'd be sweet to see if Clint Eastwood took his take to it and did a comic book movie. I don't know, it's interesting to see if when Ben Affleck does it, if he directs it, how the Batman would turn out. So far, his version of the Batman looks sweet. He looks like Bruce Wayne. When you see him, the anguish in his eyes, he looks like a Bruce Wayne. He kind of gets lost in the role. I know he's Ben Affleck, and you can tell he's Ben Affleck, but he looks different. Physically, the way he's acting, the way he's got his jaw or something.